American Marketing Association define a brand as a combination of a name, term, design, and symbol. It is intended to identify the goods or services of one seller or group of sellers and to differentiate them from those competitors. Since man first felt the need to distinguish his products from those offered by others, branding has existed. Its popularity as a type of legitimate copy protection expanded. One of the most crucial parts of every organization is its branding. Companies that properly focus on their brand are able to stand out from the competition and have better marketing. As a result, comparing features and benefits to judge products is no longer valid.
Building a retail brand. Here are the key questions for retail brands. Can the brand be identified with the lifestyles of its target customers? It includes your target customers' demographics, income, interests and preference, opinions, activities, and hobbies. Is there a perceptible difference between the brand and the products offering by the retailer and other retailers? It involves the idea of creating a set of unique attributes that set a retailer brand apart from its competitors. It could be in the form of product, pricing, or the brand's organizational structure. Can a story be woven around the brand? It is about the art of telling stories that creates the context for conveying those values that we desire to link to some brand or product. Through this, communication occurs in a much more effective way than with the mere listing of attributes.
According to Armstrong and Kotler, 2013, a retail brand is owned and marketed by a retail involved in selling goods or services directly to the final consumers to their personal or non-business use. Successful retail brands know what their customers want and can forecast future trends. They are always one step ahead to achieve any level of awareness and consumer trust. It is a reason for your customer to buy. It's the promise of value that a retailer guarantees to deliver. Emotional benefits provide customers with a positive feeling when they purchase or use a particular brand. Customer service can turn those casual consumers into loyal customers. Things like well-trained salespeople, responsive communication, effective use of technology are just a few retail customer service examples a company can do to ensure positive outcomes.
I'm going to tackle about private label. A retailer is said to be selling own brand or private label merchandise when he decides to sell products or line of products that he owns, controls, and sells in his own store or chain of stores. So what is private label products? Private label product is one that is made by a third-party manufacturer and sold under the retailer's brand name. As the merchant, you specify everything about the product, what goes in it, how it's packaged, and how it's labeled. And you pay to have it manufactured and shipped to your store.
Private labels three classifications: store brand, umbrella brand, and individual brand. Store brand, which carries the retailer's name like Westside, Food World, and Big Bazaar. Umbrella brand has a common name on multiple categories, for example, Apple, Starbucks, and Coca-Cola. And individual brands that carry specific brand name that is created for specific market segments and categories, such as Oral-B, Head & Shoulders, and Old Spice.
Private label evolution. Private labels were traditionally defined as generic product offerings that competed with national brands on the basis of value proposition. They were often seen as the lower price alternative to the real thing. Private label carried the stigma on inferior quality and therefore inspired less confidence. Generics, which were products distinguishable by their plain and basic packaging, were the first type of private labels. With the increase in retail stores, they need to earn higher profit and the desire to service. The gaps in consumer requirements gave rise to private labels, both in apparel and the food and grocery sector. Today, most of the large department stores have their own private labels which cater to a specific audience. Private labels rely on in-store advertisements. In order to compete with national brands, private labels need to focus on quality, the average quality of one product compared to others, consistency in quality over a period of time. Private label goods become more successful where the number of competing products is lower.
Why private labels? Retailer can fill in the need gaps that may exist in the market. A gap in the market is a place or area that current businesses aren't serving in the market. By retailer fills the need of gap, he or she may need to avoid diving into a market that is already oversaturated because it is often a dead end for new businesses. Second is private label gives the retailers an advantage of offering the customers another option because private label can differ only in labeling or be entirely unique. Retailers can decide or control over product factors such as pricing, size, package design, production, and distribution. Third is a private label allow the retailers to offer a unique product in the marketplace. As I said, it can be labeled in a unique way because the retailer is the one who decides which he or she will be selling. The retailer controls everything about the product. Last is private labels allow a retailer to earn a higher margin than other brands. Private brands could offer several benefits to retailers. These brands can create a sense of loyalty as well and are generally more profitable than the name brand goods.
Refers to the process of locating products from various locations, manufacturers, or suppliers. There's methods of purchasing goods. The first step is to identify the sources of supply. In identifying the sources of supply, there's a cost related to global sourcing. First one is country of origin effects. Where the merchandise was manufactured can often make a difference in the final sales of the product. The second one is foreign currency fluctuations, affects the buying price of the product. Third one is tariffs, taxes placed by the governments on imports. Is the foreign trade zones. There are special areas within the country that can be used for warehousing, packaging, inspection, labeling, fabricated, and other important related activities without becoming subject to tariffs. Next is the inventory carrying costs, the total of all expenses related to storing unsold goods. Last one is the transportation expenses, specifically to the cost of business, transportation by car, plane, train, and others.
Number 2, contacting and evaluating the sources of supply. Contacting can be vendor-initiated contact or retailer-initiated contact. Points to be kept in mind. Number 1, the target market for whom the merchandise is being purchased. Number 2, the image of the retail organization and the fit between the product is the image of the retail organization. Number 3, the merchandise and the prices offered. Number 4, terms and the service offered by the vendor. And lastly, the vendor's reputation and reliability. Number 3, negotiating the sources of supply, the types of discounts that could be made available to the buyer. Trade discounts, chain discounts, quantity discounts, seasonal discounts, and cash discounts.
To establish a good vendor relationship means being consistent